The NFL Playoffs Conference Championship round for the 2025 season has two great matchups, and we have you covered with what you need to know for both. First, Patriots quarterback Drake May heads on the road for the first time in the playoffs to face a Broncos team that will be without quarterback Bo Nix in the AFC Championship game. And then the weekend caps off with an NFC West battle between the surging Los Angeles Rams and Seattle Seahawks for the NFC Championship game for their chance to go to the Super Bowl. Everything you want to know is here in one spot to help you get ready for another weekend of NFL playoff football. Let's get into the NFC and AFC Championship games, for this is the Conference Championship edition of TXN Sports World, NFL Friday. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Conference Championship edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. Hello, friends. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. Before we get into the AFC and NFC Championship games, we do have one order of business that needs to be addressed beforehand, and that is the College Football Playoff National Championship game this past Monday night, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, Florida, where the number 1 seed Indiana Hoosiers squared off against the number 10 seed Miami Hurricanes. And at the end of the day, it was the number 1 team, the Indiana Hoosiers, making history and winning their first ever College Football Playoff National Championship. And for the third year in a row, the Big Ten claims the national championship. Michigan, Ohio State, and now Indiana can claim the national championship. Wow. So let's take a look at the numbers, of course. For the Indiana Hoosiers, it was the Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza, 16 of 27 for 186 yards through the air. What's wild here is he had 7 carries for minus 8 yards. Listen to that. 7 carries, minus 8 yards, yet he scored a touchdown. And he scored a touchdown that will cement his place. He will go down forever in Indiana football lore with that touchdown run. Kalen Black had 17 carries for 79 yards. Roman Hemby, 19 carries and 60 yards. Omar Cooper, the hero of the Penn State game, 5 catches for 71 yards. Charlie Becker, 4 catches for 65 yards. Defense, they only recorded 1 sack. That was Aiden Fisher. But they did have the game-sealing interception by Jamari Sharp that sealed the national championship for the Indiana Hoosiers. For the Miami Hurricanes, Carson Beck, 19 of 32, 232 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Mark Fletcher Jr., what a game for him. 17 carries, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. Malachi Tony, 10 catches, 122 yards and a touchdown. And then their defense played well. Ruben Bain Jr. had a sack. Hakeem Messador had 2 sacks, 3 sacks for the Hurricane defense. But at the end of the day, it was the Indiana Hoosiers winning the game by a final score of 27-21. And what a and 2 plays, the 2 turning points of, well, 3 turning points. The first turning point, obviously, there was a blocked punt. You heard MF and I, we yelled out, blocked, it's blocked. And it rolls into the end zone. And then MF yells out touchdown, and I say touchdown Indiana. And I say, what a turn of events. And a block punt touchdown for Indiana. And then the second turning point for Indiana, the touchdown run by Fernando Mendoza on 4th down, no less. A 4th down touchdown run that sealed the that in and of itself pretty much sealed the national championship for Indiana. But then the final turning point, the game-sealing interception by Jamari Sharp, And now the Indiana Hoosiers. What a story. I mean, this is a team we least would have expected to make it this far. And, for so many years, they were one of the doormats of the Big Ten. Also, for so many years, they were always known as a basketball school because of the legacy that was created by the general, Robert Montgomery Knight, when he led Indiana to 3 national championships in basketball in 1976, 1981 with Isaiah Thomas, and then 1987, Keith Smart, when he hit that winner against Syracuse in the title game. 3 titles. And then 2002, they nearly won another one, but they got upended by Maryland, of course, and haven't really been anywhere near there since. I mean, they've had some good years here and there, but this football team, man, I mean, a doormat in the Big Ten pretty much for forever and a day. I mean, if anybody told us that this team was going to win a national championship, I would have said, yeah, right. Absolutely not. I probably would have laughed in their face like Seth freaking Rollins. That would have been like no, absolutely not. They'll be lucky if they win any games, honestly. But the joke is on us. And the Indiana Hoosiers, they're no longer just a basketball school. They are now a football school. I know the people of Bloomington, Indiana will forever be satisfied by this national championship. I mean, now, can they get back there again? I don't know. We got a lot of changes. And it starts with the heart and soul of this team. Fernando Mendoza, today, officially declaring for the 2025 NFL draft. There's no doubt about it. He's going to go number 1. The Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock, and if they're smart, the Las Vegas Raiders will scoop up Fernando Mendoza. Fernando's brother, Alberto, entered the transfer portal. He has already transferred. He's transferred from Indiana to Georgia Tech. He might be the man there. Who knows? But there's one man in particular who deserves all the credit, and that is the head coach, Curt Cignetti. He said all he does is win. He says Google it. Well, I think we're all going to be Googling this national championship so for the rest of our lives and for the rest of everyone else's. I mean, a special moment indeed, but let's take a moment to acknowledge the Miami Hurricanes. Mario Cristobal and company, they have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, the Notre Dame fans and everybody else they had a right to be livid, but the thing was, Miami, they had the head-to-head, and that could not be ignored. And go figure, they took this thing all the way to the championship game, and they had a chance to win it late before Beck threw that interception to Sharp. I mean, if not for that interception, who knows? Maybe we're sitting here talking about the Miami Hurricanes as national champions. So I know for MF, I know his gut told him to go with Indiana, but I know his heart told him to go with Miami because of a certain someone. But hey, they have nothing to be ashamed of. The U is back. The U is indeed back, and I do believe Miami will be in title contention again next year for sure. That Indiana team's going to look a lot different. But boy, howdy. I mean, this is a moment that the people of Bloomington, Indiana are going to remember for the rest of their lives. And you all deserve it. And a special moment. We all couldn't be happier for this team. What a story. I'll be surprised if they don't make a movie out of this. I mean, Hollywood could not have written a better script. I mean, this is an underdog story and then some. You know how much I love underdog stories, and to see this team, go from being a doormat in the Big Ten almost every year, what they have done in the last 2 years alone has been nothing short of remarkable. And this year, Maybe they had an easy regular season schedule, but they did get tested by Penn State when Omar Cooper made that catch that made Gus Johnson have one hell of an out-of-body experience. We all remember that. That might go down as Gus Johnson's greatest call ever, combined with all the March Madness and all the stuff he's done over his years. It was that. And then that was the season saver. They lose that game. Who knows? Maybe we're not talking about them as champions. Who knows? But they rode that momentum all the way to the Big Ten championship. They went up against Ohio State. David slayed Goliath. They beat Ohio State. And then Alabama in the Rose Bowl. They're like, ooh, it's Bama. Bama's had so much success over the years. Indiana's like, okay, hold our beer. Yeah, they got them all right. They smashed them 38-3. And then they go to the Peach Bowl. They go up against Oregon. People are thinking, uh-oh, Oregon's gonna take revenge. Oregon embarrassed them in their house in October. I don't know. Yep, they smashed them 56-22. But this was the toughest test. Hostile environment, a pro-Miami crowd because it was in Miami Stadium. But yet this team did not bend. They did not break. And here they are, national champions. What a great story. Mendoza with the Heisman Trophy. Cignetti. Those folks will never have to pay for a meal in Bloomington, Indiana ever again. There's no doubt about it. So on behalf of all of us here at TXN Sports World, congratulations to Curt Cignetti, Fernando Mendoza, and the entire Indiana Hoosier team on a job very well done. Hell of a job. Enjoy it. You deserve it. You earned it. Indiana Hoosiers, national champions. What a story. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. I know deep down you wanted Miami to win because I know you've got ties to Miami. I mean, I know they are your other team right behind Michigan, but the thing is, yeah, Miami may have lost, and I know you probably feel bummed about that. But here's the silver lining.
Yeah,
you guys, your conference, Big Ten. Big Ten is now the baddest conference in college football. 3 straight titles.
Yes, and absolutely, and that's exactly the point that I was making, including with my friends, because I have a small little crew. You already know that I've been talking about this crew lately, and that was kind of the narrative that I was bringing, at that forefront too. Is that look at the end of the day, yes, I wanted Miami to win for selfish reasons. You know that, Anthony, you know why. Michael Bullock knows why, more than anything else. But at the end of the day, look, Indiana was the better team going in. They were the best team in college football. I know a lot of people were saying, then why did you think that Miami was going to win the national championship? Because I felt like Miami's defense was going to be the difference, and they were. If you really think about it, Fernando Mendoza was harassed all night by that Miami defense. They got to him. So it was just, there were some great moments. The key moments in the game, Indiana responded and made the plays that they needed to make. That's why they are the national champions. So without a doubt, they won the game. And I know some people are kind of trying to downplay it, but at the end of the day, you got to play how you play. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you get the job done. And Indiana got the job done. They answered the bell when they needed to answer it. And that's why they're standing here today as the national champions of college football. So to me, the right team won, and the most deserving team won the championship. So, hats off to Indiana for what they did. This was an incredible performance, and they are deserving of being called the national champions. So, yeah, I mean, they did an incredible job. The game was amazing. One of the better national championship games that we've had in recent years. And now we just got to see if this is if we may have a dynasty on our hands, but we'll see, because it does get dangerous now that, going into next year. So without a doubt, Indiana deserves to be the champions. Congratulations to them. And if you're Miami, you got nothing to be ashamed of. Your road to the national championship was one for the ages. And I do believe Miami will be back. They're going to be right there again next year, playing for the national championship. So yeah, nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, it was a very good game, but at the end of the day, the Indiana Hoosiers, they just answered the bell. They weren't afraid. They were not deterred, and that's why they can call themselves the best college football team in 2020, in 2025 and 2026.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, what a season for Indiana, and like you said, this team. I mean, all these years, Indiana has been. They've People have said, "Oh, they'll always be a basketball program," but not this year. They're a dominant football program that I mean, the only time they were really tested was in that game against Penn State in Penn State, and Omar Cooper with that unbelievable catch that kept their undefeated season going. And then you finally get to the college football playoff. They smashed Alabama, and then basically went through their next game, and then, of course, really were tested in the national championship against Miami. And yeah, it wasn't easy for them, but that interception at the game pretty much sealed it for them. So yeah, I mean, congratulations to Indiana, first national championship as a football program, and a great moment. But like you said, Florio, they're going to be going through some changes, so this Indiana team's going to look different come next season. So enjoy this, folks. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So with that being said, Florio, let's get into Conference Championship Sunday.
And it starts on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern on CBS with the AFC Championship game. The number 1 seed, the Denver Broncos, squaring off against the number 2 seed, the New England Patriots. In Power Field at Mile High in Denver. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, and Evan Washburn will be on the call for this game. New England opening up as a 4.5-point favorite. The playoff history, they've met 5 times. Denver has won 4. New England has won 1. So it's 4-1 in favor of Denver. The first one was in 1986, played in January of 87. It was, I believe, a divisional playoff game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks like it was a divisional playoff game in Denver at the old Mile High Stadium. Denver winning that one 22-17. The second meeting was another AFC divisional playoff, 2005 season, January of 2006. Adam Power, Denver winning that one by a score of 27-13. The third meeting was 2011 AFC divisional playoff, January of 2012 at Gillette Stadium. The New England Patriots smashing the Denver Broncos 45-10. And then, of course, the two most recent. The AFC Championship game. First, it was in 2013, January of 2014, for the right to go to Super Bowl 48. It was the Denver Broncos defeating the New England Patriots 26-16. And then 2 years later, they would meet again, 2015, in January of 2016, for the right to go to Super Bowl 50 in San Francisco. Denver winning that one 20-18. So 4-1 in favor of Denver. Denver 4-0 at home against New England in playoff games. The only loss, of course, was at Gillette Stadium, but this game is in Denver, where the forecast is calling for a high temperature of 20 degrees with snow. Not as bad as the snow we're going to get here. Oh, no. They're saying it's about a 50 to 60% chance of snow. Could be about an inch or so. So we might get a small snow game. But I'll tell you, if the game was at Gillette Stadium, oh, boy, that would have been something. we would have been talking Raider Patriot level snow. I'll tell you that right now. It would have been Raiders Patriots like. Maybe even worse than that game. Who knows? If it had been the other way. If it had been Buffalo against New England. But we'll never know that. But it's New England and Denver here. So New England so far, they've gotten by the LA Chargers 16-3 in the wild card round. And then a 28-16 win over the Houston Texans in the divisional playoff. That was a snow game. And they got the job done there. Felt like a vintage Patriots game from like 20 years ago. Denver Broncos obviously didn't have to play in the wild card round. They had the number 1 seed. And then they went toe-to-toe with my Buffalo Bills last Saturday. A divisional game for the ages. A 5-star classic Shakespearean drama in every sense. And it was the Denver Broncos defeating the Buffalo Bills 33-30 in overtime on a chip shot field goal by Will Lutz. But the win came at a price for Denver. Their star quarterback, Bo Nix, broke a bone in his ankle. His postseason is over. So it is now up to Jarrett Stidham. Of course, Adam Vinatieri and John Elway will serve as honorary captains. Adam Vinatieri will serve as the honorary captain for the New England Patriots. John Elway will serve as the honorary captain for the Denver Broncos. From a personal standpoint, I've got rooting interests on both sides. Of course, Michael Bullock and all of our dear friends from our group, who we had a nice group outing with earlier this evening. They know who they are. They are all New England Patriot fans. I have a Denver Bronco fan. That happens to be my Uncle Ed. My Uncle Ed is a big Denver Bronco fan. I congratulated him on the win over Buffalo last Saturday. And he was not happy about the Bo Nix injury, but he does have belief in Jarrett Stidham. So with all that being said, now let's dive on in. Patriots linebacker Robert Spillane, who is the signal caller for a defense that has surrendered only 1 touchdown in 2 playoff games, said facing Denver's offense will be unique. They do a great job with personnel packages, can align in a lot of funky formations and challenge your rules and schemes defensively. A lot of motions, a lot of ways to get people open. So we have to be really good with our matches, our locations in zone coverage, and playing sound in the back end, especially this week. Meanwhile, quarterback Drake May has fumbled 6 times in 2 playoff games. He said he worked on better ball security in practice, which includes having a timer in his head to make sure he's not holding onto the football too long. Given quarterback Bo Nix will miss the remainder of the playoffs with a fractured right ankle, it will be Jarrett Stidham under center with the Super Bowl on the line. Listen to this, guys. Stidham will become the first quarterback since Roger Staubach in 1972. Yeah, Hall of Fame quarterback Roger Staubach, remind you. 1972. To make his first start of a season in a conference championship game. Stidham, whom Coach Sean Payton made one of the first free agent signings of his Denver tenure in 2023, has the backing of his teammates and a rugged Bronco defense. Look for him to be more aggressive at times with a willingness to push the ball downfield. As Payton said, he's going to rip it, and that will be our approach. Denver's defense allows 5.8 yards a carry against duo runs, and New England runs duo 32% of the time, 3rd most in the NFL. That's a harsh disparity with the rest of the Broncos' rush defense, which has allowed 3.3 yards a carry against all non-duo run types, the best in the league. Was this simply variance displayed over 65 duo runs against Denver this season? We'll find out. The X factor is Broncos running back R.J. Harvey. Look for Harvey to play a defined role in the pass game. This allows Stidham to take the available throws underneath when Harvey releases out of the backfield. While Payton can also set up his running back on-screen concepts, Harvey caught 5 passes for 46 yards in the divisional round win over Buffalo. The FPI favors the New England Patriots. 59% going with the New England Patriots. And Michael Bullock, I think you're going to like what I'm about to say here. I, too, am going with the New England Patriots to win this game. I could possibly see this being close into the 4th quarter. but I could see New England put it away with a late score. So I am going to go with the New England Patriots to win the AFC Championship, defeat the Denver Broncos. My final score, 27-16. The New England Patriots defeat the Denver Broncos and advance to Super Bowl 60. I bet Michael Bullock's probably freaking out right now thinking about all this. So we're going to get to our Patriot fan in just a moment. Hang tight, Bullock. Take some time to think about it. I mean, we know, MF, believe me, MF and I know you, sir, have butterflies in your stomach the size of eagles right about now, just thinking about all this. We thought it was going to be one of our teams in this game, but we didn't think it was going to be this team. We thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be Buffalo here, but it wasn't. It's New England, and they deserve to be here. Absolutely deserve to be here. And I could see Stidham having a good game, but the fact that New England went undefeated on the road, very tough on the road, maybe the best team on the road this season, and they keep finding ways to win. So I got to go with New England, 27-16. So Bullock, hang tight. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. Here we go. Oh boy. I mean, outside of the big one, this is our Super Bowl right here. Yeah. The AFC Championship game. We've done like 30 of these right about now. It's the third time that we're going to see these two teams in it, all in Denver, oh, by the way. So nothing more to say. Patriots and Broncos for the right to go to Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. The Phil Simms to my Jim Nance, now more than ever, do that thing I like. Hello, friends.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup, no doubt about it. I think if Bo Nix would have been healthy and would have been able to go, I think the possibility, the prediction would have been a little more different. Honestly, I feel like New England's just the better team. Offensively, I think they're better than Denver, and I think that's where the difference is going to be. Defensively, it's a wash. But I do believe that that I think Denver's D can harass and cause a lot of headaches for Drake May. But at the end of the day, Jarrett Stidham and the unknown is the thing that scares me. I think early on, New England's gonna have trouble trying to figure them out and the whole 9 yards. But ultimately, I kind of feel like New England will make the secondary adjustments, and I think that's where they're gonna start to unleash. And I don't honestly, Anthony, I think your score is a little generous because I don't think it's gonna be that. I actually think New England's gonna dominate. They're gonna take it to Denver, and I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think New England's gonna win this one. And my final score is 35-17. I got New England winning the AFC Championship and is off to Super Bowl 60 and going to Santa Clara. So that's my prediction. Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
How you doing?
Well, first off, Florio, all I can say is, I mean, my goodness, I don't think, I mean, to think that my team is where they are right now. I mean, if you would have told me going into the 2025 season, if you would have told me that right now the Patriots are just one win away from advancing to Super Bowl 60, you all would have called me freaking crazy. I mean,
I know I would have.
Oh, yeah, you certainly would have, Florio. No doubt. I mean, everybody in the NFL was thinking, oh, Buffalo's going to be in this position. Kansas City is going to be in this position. Baltimore is. Cincinnati. But, no, I mean, Buffalo was the only one that got into the playoffs. The other ones I mentioned didn't even make it. So, yeah, and I mean, their defense is really good. It's just the offense that's in question, and especially now with Jared Stidham as the starter. I mean, after the Bo Nix injury, and we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, and I think for me, the strategy, I think if you're in New England, I would say take the ball first if you win the coin toss. And if you drive down the field, that would definitely put some pressure on Stidham right off the bat. And like you said, New England may have a little bit of a tough time because remember, this is the first start for Jared Stidham in 2 years. 2023 was the last time he made a start. And now here it is, the biggest game with a trip to Super Bowl 60 on the line, and your first start's going to be in the AFC Championship. That's got to be like a huge amount of pressure. I mean, I think the Patriots' offense is definitely better. We all can agree on that. And defensively, I mean, Denver's defense is really good, but don't sleep on New England's defense. I mean, especially with the way they did in the games against the Chargers and the Texans. So, like you said, it could be close early on, but I could see New England pulling away and winning this one. So, I think in the end, it's a clean sweep, boys. I'm going with my team, the Patriots, to win this one and advance to Super Bowl 60, which would cap off, which would be miraculous for this team. I mean, and here's the other thing. If the Patriots win, which we all think they will, they would be the 6th team in NFL history to reach the Super Bowl after finishing in last place the previous season. And do you guys want to know who those other 5 teams were that accomplished it?
Sure.
The 2001 Patriots, the 2003 Carolina Panthers,
Mm-hmm.
The 2009 New Orleans Saints, the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles, and the 2021 Cincinnati Bengals. Those 5 teams I mentioned, they made the Super Bowl after finishing in last place the previous season. I think after Sunday, you can make it 6 and add the 2025 Patriots to that list. New England wins. Florio, let's get on to the NFC Championship.
Man, what a story. What a story. All right, moving on to the NFC Championship game. 6:30 p.m. on Fox from Lumen Field in Seattle. It will be the number 1 seed, the Seattle Seahawks, hosting their hated rivals, the number 5 seed, the Los Angeles Rams. Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi, they'll be in Seattle. Seattle opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. And this will be the 3rd postseason meeting between these 2 division rivals. The Rams lead it 2-0. The first meeting, you got to go back to 2004. Played in January of 2005. It was the NFC divisional. It was the NFC. It was the NFC wild card game. Both of their previous meetings were in the wild card round. The first one was in 2004, January of 2005 in Seattle. The then St. Louis Rams defeating the Seattle Seahawks 27-20 to advance to the divisional playoff that year. The other meeting, 2020, also in the wild card round, also in Seattle, and the Los Angeles Rams also won that game 30-20. So there's the story there. MF, we started with you for the NFC Championship. Rams won the first meeting in the regular season at SoFi. The second meeting in Seattle, we'll never forget it. We had it, that Thursday night game last month, just the week before Christmas, week 16. Seattle winning that wild and crazy overtime game, 38-37, a game that went from a runaway for the Rams to a 5-star Shakespearean drama classic. A Of course, a lot of screaming Anthony Florio moments during that game, of course, we all remember. So,
Yep.
Won't be us for this one. It'll be the other side. But nonetheless, Rams, Seahawks, round 3. Rams won, Seattle won. The ultimate rubber match for the right to go to Super Bowl 60. Who's joining New England?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game to call, no doubt about it. Look, going in, I know a lot of people saying Rams, Rams, Rams. I'm not buying the Rams. I'm not. I'm sorry. Seattle is too good. You saw what they did to the 49ers? Yeah, that made a believer out of me. Seattle is just an animal right now. That defense is the Legion of Boom 2.0. That's how dangerous they are. Everybody was a little concerned about Sam Darnold. Was he going to play? Is he not going to play? Darnold is an afterthought. You don't even need to worry about Sam Darnold now. This team is a wagon. And I'm going to say it. I don't care who makes it to the AFC Championship, if it's New England or Denver, because if Seattle keeps playing like that, they're winning the Super Bowl. No ifs, no ands, no buts. There's no debate. If Seattle keeps playing like they're playing, they are winning Super Bowl 60, lock, stock, and barrel. That's it for me. If they play like that, it's over. I don't care who makes it out of the AFC. You're not winning the Super Bowl if Seattle gets there. But they got to show me one more time, because now you're going up against practically a top candidate for the MVP, which is Matthew Stafford. If Seattle destroys Stafford and embarrasses him, Seattle's going to win the Super Bowl. No doubt in my mind. I just want to see what this defense does against the Rams. I think Seattle's going to win it. I got them winning the NFC Championship, and I got them going to the Super Bowl. And again, just like how New England is, I think this is going to turn into a laugher. 38-23 is my score. Seattle goes to the Super Bowl. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Like you said, I mean, I'm interested to see. I mean, yeah, Seattle definitely, they dominated the 49ers. I mean, I'm not surprised that Seattle won that game. I was just surprised with the way they made it look so easy. And now they got to deal with the Rams, who is the finalist for the MVP in Matthew Stafford. Can that defense do it again against the Rams, who have not just Stafford, but Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams? That's going to be something to keep an eye on. But either way, I agree. I definitely got Seattle winning this one. And now here's the thing: if it's close going into the fourth quarter, that could be a little concerning, and the Rams could say, "Hey, we might have a chance here." So, but either way, I got Seattle winning this one and setting up for a rematch of Super Bowl 49 with the Patriots and the Seahawks. So, nothing more to say. Take us home, Florio.
All right. Forgot to mention, so far the Rams, they knocked off the Carolina Panthers in the wild card round, 34-31. And then a 20-17 overtime win in cold and snowy Chicago in the divisional playoff. Seattle was the number 1 seed. They didn't have to play in the wild card round. And as we saw in the divisional round against San Francisco, absolutely dominated the Niners 41-6. That opening kickoff return by Rashid Shaheed, pretty much was pretty much all Seattle needed. I mean, that's pretty much all they needed for that one. So that's how both teams got here. And now let's get into the schematics here. The Rams are seeking their third straight road playoff win, which would be their longest streak in franchise history, according to ESPN research. They would be the 6th team in NFL history to win 3 straight road games within a postseason. Receiver Devontae Adams said that's just been the story of our year. I don't think I would have drawn it up that way, but it's worked out for us, and it's something that we found a way to just bond together and mend to a point where we don't necessarily need to be at home in order to make it work. If the first 2 Seahawks-Rams matchups were any indication, this game will go down to the wire. The 2 teams could not have looked more evenly matched as they split their regular season series. Los Angeles, which won in Week 11 at SoFi Stadium, had 58 points and 830 yards in those 2 games combined. Seattle, which prevailed in overtime at Lumen Field in Week 16, they totaled 57 points and 829 yards. Seahawks coach Mike McDonald said of the Rams, they're a really good team. They play hard. They play together. They've got really talented players, got a great scheme. It's just a great matchup. It's right where we should be at this point of the year. It's pretty cool. The Rams average 8.9 air yards per attempt, the highest mark in the league, but the Seahawks defense allows a meager 4.7 air yards per attempt to opponents, the lowest among all defenses. The Rams will have their work cut out for them against Seattle's defense, which also excels against play action, a Rams staple, as they try to find some shot plays. The X factor is Rams tight end Colby Parkinson. In Coach Sean McVay's system, the boot concepts are a major part of the offensive game plan. This season, Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford had a league-high 74 attempts on designed rollouts, which opens the door for tight ends to see volume in the pass game. Parkinson has 90 receiving yards and a touchdown in the Rams' 2 playoff wins. The FPI goes with Seattle here, 54% going with Seattle. I mean, would I be surprised if it's a blowout? Maybe not, after what Seattle did to San Fran. But I have Seattle winning as well. Thing was, I was going back and forth with this game all week long. I mean, I have no doubts about New England. But as far as what happens here, I mean, I've been going back and forth. And after what MF just said, I am not going to go against them. I am going to go with Seattle, but there is a possibility this could be a close game. I know MF thinks that Seattle's going to obliterate them, but we just got to wait and see what happens. I think it's going to be closer than you think, but I do have Seattle winning. I do agree with you on that. I'm going to go 26-23. I believe Seattle will win it, and it will set up, as in our opinion anyway, a rematch of one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, Super Bowl 49, with the greatest ending to a Super Bowl you will ever see. That the greatest Super Bowl interception you will ever see, Malcolm Butler, where MF and I did our greatest intercepted ever. Of course, like we did on Monday night when Jamari Sharp had that game sealer against Miami for the national championship for Indiana. But we'll see what happens. We've got New England and Seattle. Will it be that? Will it be those 2? Only time will tell. The only way we'll find out is by tuning in this Sunday. So 26-23, I'm going Seattle. And with that will put the bow on this conference championship edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, we will be back with you again tomorrow night, following Saturday night's main event, or sometime thereafter. Good old MF Michael Fletcher will have it. Braves Fan 95. We got a loaded edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We've got TNA Impact. We've got Friday Night SmackDown. And we've got Saturday night's main event. All that tomorrow night. And then Tuesday night, Ridiculously Raw. It's all about Monday Night Raw and NXT. And then 1 week from tonight, it will not be football. It will actually be the Cerebral Smack Talk on a Friday night, immediately following SmackDown. MF's going to have it. We're going to review Friday Night SmackDown's go-home show before the Royal Rumble. And then we're going to preview the 39th annual Royal Rumble from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And then the following night, we will, around the 10:30 threshold, it will be our Royal Rumble recap edition of Talking Wrestling TXN. And that is it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, this is Anthony Florio here For good old MF Michael Fletcher, for Michael Bullock, and as always and forever in spirit, our one and only First Lady of Talking Wrestling TXN. That's the one and only Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Saturday. And until tomorrow night, for the Cerebral Smack Talk you've been watching, the Conference Championship Edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.